Hello, this is Frida. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show you how to knit top down the brioche stitch. And this yarn is alpaca yarn that I bought from the auction. Let me just grab the cake. Okay, here is the yarn. I only have this left over from the, I believe, 325 gram of huge bobbin cake. I call them bobbin cake because they're big. They're not like regular cakes. And it's alpaca yarn. It's really different. So I thought this would be appropriate for the brioche stitch. I've been having in my mind how to knit top down. This is the first time I'm knitting top down brioche cardigan. So after, takes a long time to knit it up, just to point that out. You knit so many rows, and then this beautiful stitch comes up. Again, knitting takes more time than crocheting, so it's really time consuming, but the end result is fantastic. Okay, so here's the, I did a crew neck, and this time I did something different. I did this method prior in my knitting methods. It's a technique. What you do is you add stitches here to create this border, and then I'm going to be sewing on buttons. I did not make buttonholes, but I will do a tutorial on how to make buttonholes. So easy. Just need this thread and a needle to create the buttonholes. Okay, so here are the increases. Just to show you, you can see the increases. Okay, so this will fit all sizes from small up to a 3 extra large. It depends on how bulky you want it. So that's what I'm aiming on my knit items, because I'm going to put this on my Etsy shop. And I divided the body parts and I put it on myself. It just looks great. It's very cold outside, so I would love to show it to you guys outside, me wearing it, because the pictures comes out perfect that way. But unfortunately the weather is -25, and I can't go outside to take pictures because I'll get frozen bites. It takes time to shoot pictures outdoors. Okay, so I've been working on this in my mind for, I don't know, months now. Okay, here are the numbers, what you need. If you want to have a one size fit all, you need to cast on total of 50 stitches. And this is how you divide it, the body parts. 10 on the front. So what I did is I knitted, I cast on total of 50 stitches, and I knitted, I don't know, about 11-12 rows. And I started to divide the body part, so 10 stitches here. And then what I did is I did 2 increases. And on the sleeve area, there's 6 stitches here. Okay, again, increase 2 stitches, 1, knit 1, make 1, knit 1, make 1, and then on the back, right here on the back, it's total of 14. The numbers aren't big. If you are aware of that, the number's not big. The yarn is about a 4 weight, I would say. And the needle size I used is a 9. So therefore, that's why it is bulky, because I needed to show the brioche stitch. And you need to knit with big stitches, big needles to knit up the brioche stitch. But for this tutorial, I'm going to use smaller needles. Because of this being alpaca, I just wanted to, to show the halo. If you can look at it, look at this gorgeous yarn. When you knit it up, you can add a different yarn, but I thought this already had so many colors I didn't want to add any more. So again, on the sleeve I did 6 stitches. I did knit one, make one, knit one, and then make one, so the increase. And again on the back, on the front is 10 stitches. Okay, for the border what I did is I cast on 10 stitches both sides. You don't have to add if you don't like the way this looks. You can just cast on total of 20. So instead of 10, what you can do is you can add 20 on the front to make this to knit up this front. Okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, so let's get started. Grab the yarn that you need, and I'm going to use the same numbers, but this time I'm not, this time I will be using smaller needles. And let's go from there. I just need to go into my stash and find the yarn that I need to knit it with. It's I just need to find a yarn that can give me this texture. Can you see? Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm going to use these yarn. I have plenty of this yarn to knit a brioche cardigan. And I want to add this beautiful blend of mohair yarn. I have, I don't know if you guys remember from the 4 extra large. These are the leftover that I had to separate the color. So I will try to use these. And I have more, of course. So if I need more, I can go into my stash. Okay, so what you need to do is, this time, what I'm going to do is, instead of casting on 10 on the front, I'm going to cast on 15, 15, and then I am not going to, well, that's another thing, because this collar is pretty good enough. Yeah, right here. So I don't want to make this part. And I will show you. I want to make it straight down because I made this a plus size, so this someone can wear this up to 4 extra large, between small to 4 extra large. It depends on how bulky you want. It will fit 1 size 2 plus sizes, but this one again, it will fit plus sizes, but not that bulky. I don't want it that bulky, and I'm going to use a 5mm knitting needle. So cast on 50 stitches. Yeah, just cast on 50. Just ignore what I said, and then we will go on with that. I will play around instead of doing yeah, maybe, you know what we'll do. Yeah, I don't want the collar to be open, so what I'll do is I will cast on 50 stitches, and we'll go from there. Okay, and then after casting on 50 stitches, I would highly recommend for you to knit, I don't know, about 11 rows, and I'll be right back to show you. Okay, so I have started. I found the yellow part of one of the skeins, and I'm going to cast on like this. It's going to give a little bit of halo. That's the reason I am using blend of mohair. Okay, I could have used white, but just want to get rid of the colors that I have separated. So I'm going to cast on 50. I don't want to cast on more than 50 because I don't want the collar to be big, right? Okay, so I'm going to be casting on like this, and I'll be right back. It's supposed to be yellow, but it turned orange. Well, that's okay. Okay, so what I did is I cast on total of 60 stitches. İlmek is in Turkish. That means stitches. I don't know how I wrote it, but you know, whatever comes to my mind, I write it down. Turkish, English doesn't matter for me. So what I did is 60 instead of doing 50. So I added 5 here and 5 here. So I'm going to do 10 stitches for the rib, and then go from there. The remaining is the same. So Yeah, and if you're going to be using a 6 millimeter knitting needle, cast on 60 stitches, and I have cast on, so I'm going to knit about 12 rows, and I'll come back to show how it looks like, and then we will divide the body parts. Again, this is a crew neck, it's not a V-neck, and these are the increases. Don't forget your 1 stitch increases. That's included in the 60 stitch. Okay, so I've been knitting. So I'm going to show you a way that you can custom design your own collar. The one that I made, I binded cast on total of 10 stitches, right? So I don't want to do this on this one. So let's say we just want to knit it like this. Say it like this, right? The collar. So, oops. Um, when I'm coming to the ribbing, I'm going to be double knitting. So about 8 stitches. That's what I did on here. I did double knitting. So when I do this method, as I have did the tutorial, this way it doesn't hang, it doesn't sag. It just looks nice when you knit it up. It's equal when you finish it, and the end result turns out fantastic. So I already tried a couple on my bridal shrugs and on the rainbow cardigan that I have knit for a customer. So that's what I'm going to use, that method, the double knitting. So please bear with me. Okay, here is my last 8 stitches. I'm going to show you because I want to use that method, and I'm just doing one knit, one purl. Focus. That's all I'm doing. Now this is going to be colorful. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up my stitches, and I'm going to be doing the double knitting. This way it looks more professional. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, so here is my last one. So I am going to knit the purl stitches and not knit the knit stitches. So I knit the purl stitch, and when I come to the knit, I slide it just like this. Knit the purl stitch, slide. So the ribbing, 1 by 1 ribbing. This is how you do it. And I always knit the last stitch. Okay. And then I'm going to turn. Okay, I might put a zipper on this one. I'm not quite sure. So on the wrong side, well, this is the right side actually. That was the wrong side. So I am going to slide the knit stitch and knit the purl stitches. So count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And then I'm just going to continue knitting, 1 knit, 1 purl all the way. When I come to the 8 stitches, I'm going to repeat that. So I'm going to knit a couple of rows, and I will come back to show you how to divide the body parts. Okay, it's time to divide the body parts. So here we are. Okay, so it's going to be like this. So 15 stitches. I'm going to count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, here is going to be my increase. So I'm going to pick that. There's 15 stitches here, so I'm going to increase 1 here, knit 1, and then increase another one. Okay, for the sleeve area, 6 stitches, 6, and here's going to be my increase. And for the back, 14 stitches, 10, 12, 14, and on the 15th, I'm going to put a marker. This is how you design your own cardigan. Okay, and then again, 7th stitch. Then we should have total of 15. Let's count. 10, 12, 13. Okay, where's the 2 stitches? This happens. No matter what you do, there's 2 stitches missing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move. That happens. Nothing to worry about. I'm positive I cast on total of 60 stitches, but that will happen. Let me just count this back again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6. See? I counted so many here. That's the reason what happened. Okay, let's go back. So the marker should be here, not there. I don't know. Then I'm going to have too many stitches. Okay, let me just recount this. I'll be right back. Okay, it looks like I miscalculated. Instead, I put down 8 here. So there's 15, 6 stitches, and there's 1 stitch in the middle, 1 stitch for the increase. 14 stitches, 1 stitch for the increase, 6 stitches for the sleeve, and 15 for the back. Okay, now we're going to start doing the brioche stitch. If you don't know how to do a brioche stitch knitting, I will show you. It's so easy. It's so easy, and I learned this when I was in when I was going to junior high school. I think I started with a couple of scarves. That's how you start, right? And then and then I started knitting Aran sweaters using this stitch. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my 7mm, 6mm, because I don't want it that huge, bulky. This one was a 5. I knitted the collar with a 5mm. So the first 8 stitches is going to be the ribbing. So I'm gonna do the double knitting method. I'm going to do the double knitting on both sides, and then to give that nice edge. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, knit the purl, 7 and 8 don't knit. Okay, so we're going to start knitting. Okay, and then here is going to be my increase. Okay, so easy. It's the brioche stitch. This is how I knit brioche stitch. Okay. This one I am going to go like this and then slide it without knitting. So I will have 2 stitches. It's like doing a yarn over. This one I am going to knit like this, knit. So one I am knitting, sliding, and yarn over, and then the next one I am knitting, yarn on the front, purlwise, and this one I'm making a yarn over. Okay, but I can't do that because I need to make an increase. Okay, it's only these 3 stitches that we're not going to do the brioche stitch. It's only these 3 stitches to create the increase, this increase right here. You see right there. It's hard to see, but it's there. So to do that, we're going to be knitting this stitch like this, and then making my increase. And this is the one that I knit, and then I make my increase. Okay. On the next stitch, I am going to yarn over and then slide without knitting. So I will have 2 stitches, knit. This is all we do. Knit 1 and then slide. Okay, so where I am at the right where the increase is, I will have it like this, nothing to worry about. So knit the stitch and then make a knit stitch, make an increase. Knit the stitch and then make it increase. That's all I'm doing. Again, yarn over without knitting, and then Some stitches are twisted, I don't know why, but it happens. So knit the next stitch. So this is all to it. There's only 2. We slide, but don't forget we don't want to have 2 one after another. So knit that stitch. Sometimes you can fix it. It's easy to fix it. So 1 is a knit stitch, 1 is a yarn over slide without knitting. Knit stitch. Knit stitch. This is how it looks like. You need to knit a couple of rows to see the brioche stitch. It's a lot of knitting involved. If you have lots of yarn and you want to use up that yarn in your stash, I would highly recommend you to knit the brioche. You can make a sweater out of it. You can make a cardigan knitting this stitch, and it uses up lots of yarn. It eats lots of yarn. Okay, so I'm going to do a yarn over slide, and then here I'm going to make an increase. When you see the marker, that means that you need to make an increase, just like this. This is the crew neck. If you want to make a V-neck, you can go into my playlist. I do have V-neck tutorials. It's the same method. Forgot to knit this stitch first. Knit and then increase. Okay, so yarn over, slide, knit, yarn over, slide, knit the next stitch, yarn over, slide, knit 1, make yarn, knit 1, and then make 1. Okay, so we're at the front. Don't forget, when we come to the last 8 stitches, we need to do the double knitting method. So just be cautious with that. Oops. Two, 4, 6, 8. Slide, knit 1, slide, knit 1, slide, knit 1. Okay, so when we're knitting the wrong side, we don't do any increases. We just do purl what we see on that 3 stitches that we have knit. So we knit purl. Okay, that's all we do. Eight stitches is then double knitting. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8. And then you will see the thickness, the double knitting, when you do the double knitting. Okay, so on the wrong side, we do the brioche knitting. So when we see the 2 stitches, we knit them together. And then when we see the one knit stitch that we did purl, we do the same thing, but we do the opposite. So what we do is we do the opposite what we did on the other row. So we go yarn over and then slide that one. And the 2 stitches we knit together. Yarn over, slide, knit 2 stitches, yarn over, slide. So 1 stitch is yarn over, slide, the 2 stitches is knit 2 together. And then we purl the 3 stitches that we, I believe it's 3 stitches. Yeah. Okay. So this is all to it. So this row is what we do, is we do the opposite. Okay, what did I do? I forgot to do yarn over. Okay, you can fix that if you go to the next row, but I saw it before I forgot, but nothing to worry about. You just go yarn over, slide, and then knit 2 together. Okay, so we're at the 3 stitches that we did the increase. we just purl them. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, and then slide, knit 2 together, just like this. Then the first 2 rows, it's really hard to see, but the more you knit, the more you will see it. Okay, so I will finish this row because I'm on the middle of the back, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. We're going to be continue knitting. I forgot to come and show you because I was watching this beautiful series. So exciting. It's called Legacy. I would highly recommend. Okay, so I knitted double knitting 2, 4, 6, 8, and then now I'm going to start knitting the brioche, which is what I see is I do the opposite. So when I see the 1 stitch, I make that double. I slide it without knitting. That's how you knit the stitch. It's so easy. And I forgot to change my knitting needle here, so I knitted that. I need to get rid of that knitting needle. So with the number 6 millimeter knitting needle. I really like these. I bought these from Hobium. It's great to grab it because it's square, right? It's cubical. Okay, so here we are. So I am right here where I'm supposed to do my increase, right? But I have an extra stitch. So I'm going to knit it like that. And then here, I'm going to knit 1, make 1, and this is the knit stitch, knit 1, make 1. Okay, so here I am going to knit it like this, and then here, because I can't make anything with that stitch, so I'm going to not knit and slide, and this one knit 2 together, just like this until I come to my marker. Okay, my marker is right here. So this is the stitch. Where are you? Just need to be cautious. So this is the stitch here. I'm going to knit this one, make 1 like this, knit 1, make 1. Okay, and then I continue knitting my stitch, but here I need to knit this one, yarn over, knit 2 together, and I continue knitting my brioche stitch. So I'm going to knit a couple of rows. This is all I'm doing. When I come to the marker, I do my increase. When I do the when I knit the wrong side, I purl. What I see is what I do. And then what you see is you do the opposite when you're knitting the brioche stitch. It's so super easy to knit it. Okay, one day I will do a tutorial knitting with 2 colors because I did so many in the past years and I never had the chance, time to make a tutorial. So stay tuned for that tutorial. I might make a hat and share it with you guys. So I will knit a couple of rows. This is all you need to do. And then you knit. Lots of knitting involved. Lots of knitting involved. And again, please do have enough yarn. Just, I would use the yarn in your stash. I'm sure everyone has lots of yarn in their stash because we keep on buying, right? And yeah. So, and I really like this. It gives that halo look, even that little tiny thin blend of mohair. There's a little bit mohair in that yarn, and that even affects the look of the yarn. Okay, so I will knit a couple of rows and I'll be right back. Okay, I've been knitting non-stop, and this is how it looks like so far. As you can see the increases. And then you can see the color change. So I'm just gonna grab my measuring tape. So you need to knit about, I don't know, 9 inches, 10 inches. I would say from, not from the collar where we started, but under, just where we started the brioche stitch. So I would measure it. Right now it's about 4 inches. 4 inches. So I need to knit up maybe 5 more inches to have the length that I need. Again, this is going to be fitting small size, medium size, large size, extra large size, and so on. And I will post pictures when this is finished on my Instagram page so you can have a look at it. After you knit the 9 inches, I would divide the body parts, and I do have several tutorials on how to do that. This tutorial is on how to start knitting top down brioche stitch, and I just love how this turned out with this gorgeous yarn. And this is the yarn again. It is called Retro Stripes. Yeah, this yarn is a little bit hard to find, and when I found it, I grabbed everything I saw. Okay, so yeah, so stay tuned for my next tutorials. Again, I'm going to show you how to make buttonholes, a trick. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll put a zipper, sew on a zipper, or go from there. But other than that, and this is how you can knit up the collar, how to start it. And I'll show you this one as well. This one is a little bit bulkier than that one. If you compare it to this, just to show. So I explained on how to start up this. If you want to, cast on a couple of stitches. On this one I cast on 10. On this one I didn't. I just added the extra stitches and then went on from that. Yeah, so you guys take care. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Share it with your family, friends. And don't forget to hit the notification button so you will be notified every time I post a picture. It's very late. It's almost midnight here. I'm really tired because I've been knitting nonstop just to show you guys so I can upload this to YouTube, and then you will watch it when it's uploaded. Yeah, so I hope you like this tutorial. Take care, everybody. Just to show you how it affects the mohair. Blend of